I'm Connie Roberts.
And I'm Tracey Trenery.
We're here at Blue Mountain Resort and we're doing winter decorations.
That's right, Connie. We started out here with these window boxes on the building. We have some decorations out back, but first we're going to go back to the shop and show you how we created these decorations.
We're in the workshop and we're going to see how all these pieces go together. Tracey, let's tell everybody what they're doing.
Oh, the guys are getting the pieces prepped for the beds. There's 2 beds that flank the pergola in the courtyard area at Blue Mountain. So they're building these and I'm going to fill them with greens and red birch. We're going to light it up, kind of like a Rockefeller Center look, to jazz up that area there in the courtyard.
I think people need to know like the details. Like there's a lot to just getting this part started before you do all the pretty work.
Sure. So what we're going to do is we're going to build these on 2x8s with some styrofoam and chicken wire. Then they get stuffed with greens. We're doing as much as we possibly can here because it's obviously cold up there. So we like to prep everything here and then we'll carry these pieces in and anchor them down in the beds once we get there, set them into place and light them up.
Nice, so these just sit right in there perfectly.
Yes, we have everything measured out and figured out.
Tracey, so what are these?
Okay, so these are the pieces we're working with. Now during the season, you know, spring and summer, these are actually on the lampposts like this, filled with a cocoa liner, and they have annuals in them. So we came up with an idea to use the same pieces, but what we're gonna do actually is flip them over like this, so we can achieve the look we're after as far as the swags that sit on the lamppost.
Okay.
If you want to take a walk over here, I'll show you what we're doing.
Okay. All right, Trace, so we went from that skeleton post to this.
Right, so we're about, I would say, like 2/3 of the way done with this, but what we did was we started on the inside and we worked our way out. So we're just filling with greens, wiring real well, because obviously there's a lot of bad weather up there, it gets real windy, to create this finished piece. We had to be careful to make sure the guys can still get at the hardware, and we have to build it as if it looks like one piece, but remember, they're 2 pieces, so we have to be able to take it apart and get them back together, so we have to be careful we don't wire the 2 sides together, so that's why we have a little bit of a gap here. So right now, I'm just working on the top section. I have the inside done, I have this layer done, and I'm just trying to cover up the basket this way.
Okay. So what about the lights?
Okay, so each piece is going to be lit with these LED lights. Just enough to make them sparkle a little bit. We don't want them too much because obviously you have the light. It's going to be on a lamppost, so the light's at the top of this. So we chose these little warm white LED lights. Different shaped light here. It has better light refraction. And they also already have some twinkle lights there. So it's going to just tie everything together with what they already have going on.
Nice. All right, let's talk about the finished look too. Like you're going to put the red.
Yes, we have a bunch of the red birch. That's going to be on here, as well as a bow and then some streamers just to finish it off. Nothing too much, just something simple. The piece itself is going to make a big impact there, so.
I can't wait to see it.
Me either.
And we're back at Blue Mountain Resort and we're installing the swags. They look fantastic, Tracey.
Don't they, Connie? They look wonderful. I'm so happy with them.
You know, when I was a little girl, I used to ski here, but you know, there's so much more that they have to offer here.
Oh yeah, they're doing a bunch of new stuff over the past like 10 to 12 years. The ropes course, disc golf, laser tag, the weddings are a big thing here, and the restaurant, of course. We originally got involved when we were brought in to do some annuals for the restaurant area and the wedding venue, and then of course that turned into, you know, a seasonal thing here, and that's why we did the swags.
Well, they look gorgeous.
Thank you. So the guys are installing them. If we want, we can take a walk over and see how they're doing that.
Okay. All right, these are all looking really good, Trace. What's happening here?
Well, Jim's putting the finishing touches on. You know, every once in a while we put him to work. He's not just a pretty face on our show. So he's putting the bows on, putting the streamers on, and just making sure everything's set right. The lights look good, and you know, so it's a nice finished piece.
So Trace, this is fun, but this is commercial work. What about residential work?
We do residential work as well, whether you want us to do it for you or we can create pieces that you install yourself. We do a lot of custom work, custom wreaths, different sizes, whatever size you need, decorating, mantelpiece things, pots for your porch, you name it, we do it.
All right, so we're gonna take a break, but when we come back, we're gonna show you a residential location and what they're doing there.
If you've never been to Chestnut Hill Nursery during the Christmas season, you really have to stop by. We have fresh cut Christmas trees from local growers, custom handmade wreaths, fresh garland, and gorgeous cemetery items, specially made to honor your loved one. Bring the whole family down to pick out a tree. We have all your favorite varieties. We're open for the Christmas season to December 24th. So stop in. We're located on Route 209 in Broadheadsville or on the web at chnursery.com.
Community. It's where we work. It's where we play. It's where you'll find First Northern Bank and Trust, offering community banking services. First Northern Bank and Trust is a family-owned and operated bank. Our local decision makers offer fast approvals and customized financial solutions. Plus, we keep your money right here in the community, stimulating local economic growth and providing jobs for our friends and neighbors. First Northern Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Donna Do-It-Yourself. I play a plumber on TV, fixing leaks and changing fixtures. But when I have a real plumbing problem, I call the experts at RJ Groner.
Clogged drains, water leaks, sewer line repairs. Plumbing problems are intimidating. RJ Groner is ready to help at home or at work to get the job done right.
Customer service is our #1 priority. Whether it's an installation or emergency repair, call us at 570-421-7260.
Welcome back to the show. We're going to talk about residential decorating for your home. Tracy, let's tell everybody what they could do themselves.
Okay, well, you saw what we did at Blue Mountain, those big window boxes, 15 of them. Emily actually did them. She's our pro now, so we're doing some window boxes here. Why don't we go over and talk to her and see what she's doing over there?
Okay. Hi, Emily. Why don't you tell us what you're doing?
Hi. So what we want to do with these window boxes at home, the ones at Blue Mountain really are for bulk. They're kind of a backdrop, so we fill them mostly with greens just for an impact. And what we did in the center was just put some red birch in there, you know, just in a cluster to make that stand out. So when you do them at home, you want to kind of get some mixed greens in here because they're going to be seen up close. So what we have is we have some noble fir, we have some incense cedar, and then what we're doing in the middle here is a short needle pine, and that kind of spikes in the center there.
Oh yeah, nice.
So we just used from the annuals we had in the spring, we had some dirt in here, so you can just kind of stick them in there, just clip them, nice pieces. So same thing with Blue Mountain, we use these at the end because they kind of droop really nice. So you can just stick those in there, makes them a little longer.
Oh, nice.
And in the center here, we put our bows, and then I just put these little juniper right there for a little more texture.
That looks great.
So will you be putting any lights on?
Yeah, of course. So what we want to do is we just want to outline, so we'll just put them right along the top here, just for a nice clean outline.
So Trace, what about some other ideas for decorating your house?
Well, we like to do entryways, so if you want, we'll take a walk over to the doorway over here and we can show you what we do with some garland and some wreaths. Take a walk over, we'll create some magic.
Okay. Wow, Tracy, I really like this garland. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. This is cedar garland. So as you can see, we framed the entryway with the garland. We'll add some bows later on, and we'll also add some lights to this. We also, if you want to take a walk over here, we have some pieces, just some pieces that the homeowner had, and we stuffed them with some greens. Same like Emily talked about, mixed greens, because you're going to see them up close. Add some texture, some color. You know, so there's a red pail, and then these boxes.
So you can just find some things that you have around the house
Absolutely.
to decorate them.
Make it work. Yeah, and then lastly, we'll put up a wreath. This one here is just a mixed greens wreath. We picked a real plain, simple bow, something natural to go with the surroundings here. So we'll put that on the door, and that'll be a finishing touch. But right now, we're going to head over to the workshop and see some of the other things that the girls are making.
Okay. Obviously, everybody knows Chestnut Hill Nursery does fresh Christmas trees, but what else do you do here?
Okay, well, a huge part of our business actually is cemetery items. So we do a lot of cemetery items. Back here in the workshop, we do a lot of prep work. So we create all the blanks for the girls up front, and then we send them up to be decorated. So what I was working on here is actually a grave pillow. So that's a smaller piece, and it's just fresh greens, and then the girls will decorate it with a bow and decorations, you know, depending on, sometimes we get custom orders, people want a specific color. You know, some people want natural, some people want something a little more glitzy. This here is a log.
Okay.
And actually that can be used in a couple different ways. You can place that right on the cemetery. Sometimes older folks, they can't pin down a grave blanket, they can't carry it, you know, it's just too much for them. So they buy this and they just place it. Sometimes we decorate them and people put them on their front porch. So if you want, we can take a walk up front. We can talk to the girls, they can show you how they decorate these, and we can look at some of the other things that they're doing.
Okay.
After we build the blank pieces out back, we bring them up front for the girls to decorate. Depending upon where the pieces are going to go and what they are, we either wire the ornaments on or glue them on with a heavy-duty glue. Right now, the girls are working on cemetery cones and logs. We also do custom pieces, so if there's something in particular you want, just come in and ask and we'll certainly do it for you.
We're going to take a break from decorating and just relax.
And when we come back, Jim's going to walk you around the lot and teach you everything you need to know about fresh-cut Christmas trees.
The American Ribbon Factory has a rich 100-year history in weaving ribbons for everything from bridal to holiday to home decor.
But we're more than just ribbons.
American Ribbon Factory has a beautiful collection of fabric, upholstery and drapery, lame, pongee and tulle, plus quilting, cottons, batting and trims. On-site seamstress Marcis designs outfits and does alterations.
We got trophies and plaques for all events.
We're Stroudsburg's best kept secret, the American Ribbon Factory, 925 Ann Street.
Excuse me. Excuse me, are you Santa Claus? I heard you might be him. If you are him, here's my list.
Help the Marines make Christmas possible for less fortunate children. Donate a new toy to Toys for Tots.
Here's Santa Claus.
If you've never been to Chestnut Hill Nursery during the Christmas season, you really have to stop by. We have fresh cut Christmas trees from local growers, custom handmade wreaths, fresh garland, and gorgeous cemetery items, specially made to honor your loved one. Bring the whole family down to pick out a tree. We have all your favorite varieties. We're open for the Christmas season to December 24th. So stop in. We're located on Route 209 in Brodheadsville or on the web at chnursery.com.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, Connie.
How you doing?
All right.
Well, you know I get my tree here every year, but you have so many varieties this year. What do I do?
Well, it's true. We have more varieties of trees this year than we've ever had in the past, so lots to choose from, and it gets a little confusing sometimes for folks, but you know, I'll help you go through it, and we'll show you each variety tree and what the positives are for each variety and why people choose them. And then you can make a selection. The one is, you know, everybody has that perfect tree that they want to take home. So
Okay.
how about we start a little tour?
Sounds
Okay.
good. Hey, Jim, how about this one?
Okay, well, there you go. That's a blue spruce, all right? And, you know, we've been selling trees for a long time. Years ago, this was the #1 selling tree. We sold more blue spruce than anything else on the lot. And it's certainly kind of gone out of favor for a couple different reasons. You know, it's a little bit more of a prickly type of a needle, so when you decorate it, it's, you know, a little tough to get in there and get all your ornaments on there. But the positive side of it is the branching is very stiff. So if you have some heavy ornaments, it's a great tree for that. Plus, there's some great color in this. You get from deep greens to blue greens, all the way up to steel blue, depending on what we have available at that particular time. So some people really love the color of the spruce. Now behind you, like here, right? So this is a Douglas fir.
Okay.
Nice
big
soft
difference.
needles, okay?
Yeah.
You know, the branches aren't as stiff, although you can load this up with some weight on some of the heavier ornaments, but not as much as some of the other varieties. But again, very thick, very dense, they shear very well, they're very tight when they're grown in the field and in the farms. Again, this was probably the #1 tree for a very long period of time. Took over from the spruce, and this was probably the most popular tree for 15, 20 years. But it's a great tree, long-lasting needles, great fragrance in the house, still a very good, solid Christmas tree, and a lot of people do like them. But I want to talk about a few more. Let's go up this way.
Okay. Jim, this tree is really different.
This is a concolor fir, okay? In the fir family, much longer needle, as you can see, very soft, good structure in the branching, really nice color. It ranges from a nice green to a really blue-green. Little different. Some people are really familiar with it and really love this tree. Great fragrance. If you take one of the branches here, or the little needles, and if you break it in half and just kind of crush it a little bit, it has a citrus smell.
Oh yeah,
it smells like oranges.
Good. Yeah.
So you still get that fragrance of the fir,
Right.
but you get a little bit of a citrus tint to this. Really pretty tree. Again, all the firs are really great for holding their needle retention. Of course, the key is watering, but we'll talk about that later. But it's a really pretty tree. It's one of those trees when you set it up and you have guests coming over for the holidays, they're going to look at that tree and go, wow, that's really different. What is that?
Jim, I really love this one.
Yeah, it's a great tree, isn't it? But we have 3 other firs that I want to talk to you about, so let's go take a look.
Okay.
So Connie, this is a balsam fir. Now this is a very old traditional tree. Typically these came out of the Northeast, way up in Canada. And a lot of the growers and the farmers would go into the fields and they would cut these and ship them down to the Northeast especially. Years ago they used to come down on trains, and you'd go into the train yard and you buy 3 or 4 trees, and they were very bare. So people would buy 3 trees and start drilling holes in the best one and shoving branches into it to make a really nice tree. A lot of history with the balsam fir. It's been around for a very long time, very reliable, extremely fragrant, good needle retention. The other one that we're going to talk about is the Fraser fir, and the Fraser fir has become the #1 tree probably in the last 6-8 years or so. It took over everything else, kind of took over where the Douglas was. Really is a terrific tree. I highly recommend that. As a matter of fact, let's go take a look at one.
Okay.
Now this is a Fraser fir, all right? Again, very popular. Everybody's thinking, boy, Fraser fir, it's a great tree. It is a great tree. You'll see that the needles, there's a couple things. The needles have a tendency to swirl around the branching, so they're a little fuller.
Oh yeah.
If you look at the underside, they're much lighter color, like almost like a bluish green. So you get a little texture and color as you look at the tree. The other nice thing about Frasers is they have a tendency to be a little bit more layered. So when you have some large ornaments, you've got some big spaces that you could put.
Right.
It's not a real heavily sheared tree.
Right.
Again, their needle retention is great, smells great, fantastic tree. Unfortunately, it's just right now they're a little bit hard to come by. We're working with 2 different growers, and we were fortunate to find a nice supply of these. And as a matter of fact, the prices are, these Frasers are the same prices we were charging 3 years ago. So
Oh wow.
it's, we're really trying to put some value in this tree as well. But I want to show you our new tree that we have this year. It's called the Nordman fir, and it's really a fantastic tree. Let's go take a look. Okay, so Connie, this is the Nordman fir. Okay, the new hot, well, it's not really hot because a lot of people don't know about it, to be honest with you. We did a little research. We wanted to try to bring some new varieties in. We really thought this would be a great selection to bring in. So we did find a grower who has a beautiful farm, and he has the Nordmans. We also get our balsams and some of the Frasers from him. Every single tree that's in the yard here, we tag and we cut. Okay, so they're really fresh. We go up there, we tag them, we cut them, we bring them down. We're doing this weekly, so it's a very fresh tree, as you can see. If you pull on here, there's no needles coming off. Okay, we're very happy to have these. I don't think there's anybody else in here that's even selling these because there's that many being grown, quite honestly.
Well, I don't need to look any further. I think this is my tree for this year.
Okay, well, we'll load it up and you can take it home. I'm not going to help you decorate it, but I'll get it to your car anyway.
Still ahead, safety tips for keeping that Christmas tree fresh once you get it home.
First Northern Bank & Trust is your local loan specialist for both personal and business needs. Our local decision makers offer fast approvals and customized financial solutions, helping you reach your goals. First Northern Bank & Trust combines friendly service with the latest technologies to make banking quick, easy, and convenient. We continue to grow in Carbon, Lehigh, Monroe, and Northampton counties, serving you with 11 local branches. First Northern Bank & Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Rhonda Rehab. I play a house rehabber on TV, redesigning and flipping homes. But when I have a real house nightmare, I call the experts at RJ Groner.
Need an installation or repair? Call RJ Groner. We'll have one of our team members out to appraise the situation and get you up and running.
Customer service is our #1 priority. Whether it's an installation or emergency repair, call us at 570-421-7260.
If you've never been to Chestnut Hill Nursery during the Christmas season, you really have to stop by. We have fresh cut Christmas trees from local growers, custom handmade wreaths, fresh garland, and gorgeous cemetery items, specially made to honor your loved one. Bring the whole family down to pick out a tree. We have all your favorite varieties. We're open for the Christmas season to December 24th. So stop in. We're located on Route 209 in Broadheadsville or on the web at chnursery.com.
So Connie, we were just talking about the Fraser fir, and what I wanted to let the folks at home know is that be prepared because of the popularity of Frasers, and there is a lack of supply right now on the Fraser trees. Be prepared to pay a little bit more for a Fraser than you will for some of the other varieties. It's just the state of the market right now. It's a great tree. People have finally realized that, and there just wasn't enough supply for all the demand right now until they catch up with that supply. So the Fraser prices this year are a little bit more than some of the other varieties, so be prepared.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah.
What is the benefit of coming here to a nursery than going to like a tree farm?
Sure, that's a great question, okay? So it really comes down to, like we were talking about, preference on a tree. It really comes down to your preference on that experience. Certainly if you've got a young family, there's an experience to go into a tree farm, picking the tree out, cutting it down, hauling it back to the car, and doing the whole experience. No doubt about it, okay? But on the same token, that means trudging through the fields, climbing the hills, you know, carrying the tree through the woods, etc. Some people don't want to do that, or they've done it once or twice and they're, okay, we did that already.
Yeah.
You know, now I just want to come to a good place, get a good quality tree, and of course that's what we have here. And a lot of the growers, because they can only grow so many varieties or grow so much stock, or their trees come to market at a certain time based on the growth rates, okay, they'll augment their stock with cut trees as well. They'll bring trees in from other growers or other varieties from different areas of the country so that they've got the full selection of trees to sell as well. So they're not only selling what you cut yourself, but they already have cut trees that are fresh cut. Now, in our case, all of our trees are hand selected. We pick every single one of these trees. They are fresh cut, and we're going to talk more about how to maintain that once you get it home. But it's as fresh here as maybe a couple days difference between here and cutting it down at the nursery. But if you care for it properly, it's not going to be a problem for that tree to last inside the home for the extended holiday period. So it really comes down to that experience. You know, you come here, we have the trees, we have wreaths, we have gray blankets, we have decorations, we've got the whole experience in that regard. Well, our guys, our crew here will sit here and help you select the tree. We'll bale it up, we'll tie it up, put it on your car for you, and all you have to do is go home and decorate and have some fun, make some eggnog.
I like that. So Jim, it's about time for me to put my tree up, and I need some safety tips.
Well, safety is important, okay? You're bringing a live tree in the house, extremely flammable if you're not careful. So we want to make sure we're doing this the right way. A couple things I'm going to point out to you. First thing you need to do is select a fresh cut tree. If you have a tree that's been cut down for several weeks already, it's not going to be a fresh cut tree, so it's going to dry out a lot faster. A fresh tree that has moisture in those needles is not going to support flame. It's only when it really dries out, okay? So the first thing you want to do when you go to select a tree, let me just show you here, is take the needles and make sure you can pull on them and they're soft and pliable.
So they don't fall off.
You can bend the branch over. You see how you can bend this and it's very soft? It doesn't break. That's a fresh tree. Evergreens naturally shed some of their interior needles this time of the year, so you'll always have some needles dropping from the inside, but you shouldn't have an excessive amount. Okay, so be careful of that. Once you select your tree, The most important thing is to get a fresh cut on the bottom of that tree. So they're cut, and then what happens is the resin in there will actually seal the bottom. So if you don't make a fresh cut, when you put that in a bucket of water or in your tree stand with water, it's not going to absorb the water up through the tree because you've sealed the bottom. So that's why it's important to make a fresh cut. You should cut anywhere from a ½ inch to an inch off at least to open up those pores again. So once you put that in a bucket, it's going to absorb all that water and bring it up into the tree and keep it soft. Okay, so that's real important. We try to recommend to people, if you're not going to set the tree up right away, and this is kind of important, take it home, put it in a bucket of water as soon as you possibly can, even if you're not going to put it up right away. Because again, that's going to start to bring that moisture up through the tree, and it's going to be more prepared when you bring it in the house. Once you bring it in the house, you want to make sure you have it in a safe location, not near a fireplace or a wood stove, not near an electric heater, right over the heater where it's going to heat up and potentially catch those branches on fire. So put it in a safe spot. Make sure it's in an area where when people are walking through passageways, etc., you're not going to knock into the tree and knock it over. Make sure it's in a good solid stand. I can't tell you how many people come in here, they buy the biggest tree and they use the smallest stand possible. It's not going to work. You need a good solid stand. Okay? So make sure you have the appropriate stand that will hold water, again, once you set it up. So now you're going to take the tree out of the bucket, bring it in the house, put it in a good stand, set it up, adjust it appropriately, make sure it's standing straight, put it in a great location, and then fill it with water. That water is going to evaporate very quickly out of that bucket. So for the first several days, you're going to have to check that water daily to make sure that you're constantly replenishing that water. At some point, you'll see that that's going to slow down that intake. And then you can just check it maybe every 2-3 days, something like that. But always keep water in the stand, because if you let all the water drain out of the stand, and what's going to happen is the bottom of that tree is going to seal up again, and then it won't take any more water. So that's real important. Lights. I mean, this is a lot of information, but lights. Make sure you got good lights. If you got lights that have strands that are broken or there's bare wires, don't use them on the tree. Throw them out. They're so inexpensive today. Get yourself a good set of LED lights and put some new lights on there. And that's really the best way to make sure you're safe. When the tree's done, take it out of the house. We sell these tree bags where you can just take it up over the entire tree, so when you drag it through the house, you're not dropping the needles all over the house. That's great. And then take it outside, and if possible, recycle it. Put it out for the birds for the winter. They love the nice evergreen to kind of hide out in and feed if you got a bird feeder nearby. It's a great way to use the tree. Hey, you made a great selection here on the tree.
And thanks, you gave me some great tips too. But now that I got the most important part, my tree, I'm all taken care of.
Well, not quite, because remember, the tree's important, but the most important thing is spending time with friends and family, right?
That's right.
So go home, decorate the tree, and enjoy this with your family.
Thank you. All right, ready?
I don't think so, but
we'll go for it. We'll try.
I'm cold.
Hi, everyone. I'm Connie Roberts.
And I'm Tracey Trenery.
You're here. You know he can hear that.
I don't have my second pair of pants on today to hold these up.
So what's happening here? I had to say something. All right, we better get back to work.